This is an inside view of the thoracic cavity on the right side, where this is the vertebral column and those are the ribs. Each intercostal space has a vein, an artery, and a nerve arranged from above downward in this direction as van, a vein, an artery, and a nerve. Those vessels and nerve run in the intercostal space in the lower border of the rib and specifically in the costal groove. They run between the innermost and the internal intercostal muscle. The arteries of the intercostal space or the intercostal arteries originate posteriorly from the aorta. This is the descending thoracic aorta, and it gives intercostal branches to each intercostal space. This is one of the branches, and this is another one. The veins posteriorly drain into the azygous vein on the right side and to the superior and inferior hemiazygous on the left. The nerve is from the anterior ramus of the spinal nerves, and here is it. Anteriorly, the intercostal space drive its artery from the internal thoracic artery, also called the internal mammary artery, which is a branch of the subclavian artery. The internal thoracic artery runs in the anterior chest wall, just lateral to the sternum, and at the level of the sixth costal cartilage, it divides into the superior epigastric artery and the musculophrenic artery. The first 6 intercostal spaces receive 2 anterior arteries for each space from the internal thoracic artery, whereas the 7th, 8th, and 9th derives their anterior intercostal arteries from the musculophrenic artery. The 10th and 11th intercostal spaces have no anterior intercostal arteries. As we have said, the posterior intercostal arteries are derived from this descending thoracic aorta. However, the first 2 posterior intercostal arteries are derived from the superior intercostal artery, which is a branch of the costocervical trunk, which is a branch of the subclavian artery. Similarly, the veins have an exception too. The first posterior intercostal vein drains into the vertebral or the brachiocephalic vein of its own side. The second, third, maybe the fourth posterior intercostal veins may unite to form the superior intercostal vein, which drain into the azygous vein on the right side and the brachiocephalic on the left side.